Well, hello there, gorgeous. It's been a while. And might I say, you look completely different. You've lost a little bit in the middle. You've probably even taken a few years off the top. And what is going on in the back? Wow, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Whatever you've done, it's spectacular. And this year, it's going to be magical. That's right, and Blackburn Rovers return to action out in the Championship, taking on Hot Shots Bournemouth. Who's going to come out on top? We'll talk about it and more next. With another preview. This time we're looking forward to the brand new squeaky clean Championship season where Bournemouth entertain Blackburn Rovers. It's the game of the weekend, boys, as the rest of the domestic football around UK kicks into top gear. Of course, looking forward to each and every one of those bad boys. And again, if you're new to the channel, bang the old subscribe button. Of course, bang the old little bell, boys and girls. We've got it all here under one Ruski. Premier League, Championship, of course, the mighty blue and white, and the rest of world football. We have it all here. And again, a big shout out before we jump in the deep into, of course, the patrons for supporting the channel behind the scenes. Respect to all of those guys and gals who are keeping the channel alive behind the scenes. And anyone is out there and thinking, you know what, I want to support this clown, get in the old description. There is a link, patreon.com/roverseats. So usually, or from here or from the next one onwards, we'll have a new backdrop. I'm just a little bit pushed for time to get everything all decked out and you know, all Christmased up a little bit. But yeah, so I'm just using the tried and trusted method today, and then next week we'll have a little bit more snazzy, and we might even go live next week. We might even go live. Okay, folks, let's get into it. It is, of course, Bournemouth taking on Blackburn Rovers, and it does take place at Dean Court, aka Vitality Stadium. That's right, here it is in all its glory, boys and girls. Yes. So, of course, Bournemouth crashing down to earth, finishing 18th last season in the Premier League. And they got themselves relegated in the trapdoor to the Championship once again. It's the first time in a long time, actually. They were, to their credit, they held their own in the Premier League. But it wasn't to be last season. And, of course, Eddie Howe parted ways with the club, which he took from the clutches of despair. And actually handed over the reins now to his old assistant in time, Jason Tyndale. That's right. So let's talk about those guys. In fact, here are the key managers pulling the strings. Of course, Tony Mowbray is the main man for Blackburn Rovers, and of course captained by Elliot Bennett these days, depending if he's on the field or not. And our main man, goal scoring wise these days, is Adam Armstrong. Of course, on the opposite side, and in the home dugout will be, of course, Jason Tyndale as well, currently pulling the strings for them bad boys. Steve Cook is the captain as of recording anyway, and of course their main goal scorer usually is Callum Wilson, but we're expecting him to probably move on to pastures new. I don't know when. He might get a couple of games in, he might not, I don't know, but I'm for the record, that's, you know, last season he was the main man pulling the strings. So what do we got here then? So over the course of time, these two sides have played each other, what is it, 15 times, 7 victories for Rovers, 5 victories for Bournemouth, and 3 draws over the course of time. Let's break that down a little bit, in fact. So the last time that these two sides did play each other was all the way back in September 2018. It was over in Bournemouth. It was a 3-2 win for Bournemouth. I can give you the goal scorers on that day as well. Junior Stanislas, ex-Dingle, that's right. He got the opening goal in that bad boy. Jordan Ibe as well from the penalty spot, and Callum Wilson with the winner on the 90th minute. This was in the League Cup. Of course, Craig Conway, Adam Armstrong as well, gave us a bit of hope, but the big bad boy Del Boy got himself sent off on that one. But before that, it was a 0-0 draw, and that was all the way back 2015 in the Championship as well, and that was over in the Bournemouth as well. Moving on, the last time played at Ewood was a 3-2 victory for Blackburn Rovers, and that was in 2014. Jordan Rhodes, Grant Hanley, and Rudy Gestead on the score sheet. Brad Pittman and Stevie Cook on the score sheet for Bournemouth. But prior to that, it was a 1-0 win for Bournemouth, again at Ewood. The goal scorer on that day was Lewis Graven. He does score goal, was at this level. And then finally, Rovers picking up a 3-1 win over at their place as well. Jordan Rhodes with a couple of goals. Leon Best, yes, he did score a goal. And Ryan Fraser got the 1-0 goal for Bournemouth. Richard Hughes got himself sent off. Those are the games back-to-back or in the course of time. We'll take a look at the last 5 in the Vitality or Dean Court. We got records all the way go back into 1989 here, with Rovers winning 4-2 way back when. So yeah, if you take a look at them, the last 5 games in Vitality, Dean Court, whatever. Bournemouth only winning 1 at the past 5, stretching all the way back to 1989. So Rovers, we've got familiar stomping grounds over there, and they'll fancy their chances to maybe catch Bournemouth on the back foot here, because new manager, new, a lot of players don't want to be there. A lot of players have been tempted and had their heads turned by other possibilities. So we might catch them on a bad day. And actually playing them without their fans could also be a blessing in disguise. Let's take a look at some stats here for last season. Take a look at Bournemouth, of course. They actually scored, the majority of their goals, of course, coming through open play. 17 of their goals scored through open play. 15 set pieces, 4 penalties, 2 counter-attacks, and 2 OGs. That's reflected here in their attacking avenues. 42% of all their attacking avenues coming down the left-hand side, 24 down the middle, and 35% down the right-hand side. And, of course, keeping hold of the ball, 43% of the time is in the middle third, 27% in the opposition's third, and 27% in the back there, in the defensive quarters. As for the shots, 8% of all their shots come within the 6-yard box, 56% of all their shots, 18-yard box range, and 36 long range, bad boys. What else have we got here? Is this where those shots that took place? Yeah, the majority of their shots coming off, of course, through the middle, 76% of all their shots down the middle, 13% down the left-hand side, and 11% down the right. So look at some stats and figures and all that kind of jazz. This again from last year, of course. We'll start with brand new, squeaky clean data. Of course, the top goal scorer was last season was Callum Wilson with 8 goals. His mucker's namesake, Harry Wilson. I think he's a loanee, right, from Liverpool, I believe. 7 goals last season. And Joshua King, ex-Rover. Of course, we want him to get sold. We both want him to get sold. You want him to get sold. We want him to get sold. So we get some money, because we'll get a little bit of a sell-on fee. He got himself 6 goals. As for the assists, Rico got 4. So did King and Fraser. Fraser's on the verge of leaving. I believe Newcastle sniffing around. And it may, again, I want to disclaim, I am recording this well ahead of time, 3rd of September, because I'm going to be away for the start of the weekend. So I wanted to get this done now. As for the discipline, Lerma got himself 11 yellows. So did Wilson got 10. Billing got 8. As for Reds, at least 3 guys got red cards. Francis Cook and Lerma. What have we got here then? This is the last fixtures or the next few fixtures after this one. Bournemouth will be taking on Middlesbrough on the 19th of September. Then they go to Norwich away days, Carrow Road, 25th of September or something like that. My eyes deceive me. Then they take on Coventry at home on the 3rd of October. Then they take on QPR also at home, 17th of October. And then they'll wrap up the 5-game stretch up against Cardiff, tricky one, over in Wales. And then the last 5 games for these bad boys, of course, the back end of the season. The last game was against Everton, 3-1 win. Of course, it wasn't good enough. They also lost to Southampton at home. Unfortunately, they just lost to Manchester City 2-1 over at the Etihad. Leicester City as well. They beat them 4-1, and they also drew with Spurs. Meanwhile, I'll look at Rovers then, stats and figures for you. We did score 40 of our goals through open play, 18 set pieces, 4 penalties, and 4 OGs. Thank you, opposition. As for our attacking avenues, 33% of all our attacking avenues come down the left-hand side. That is known as the Adam Armstrong effect. When we come down the right-hand side, which is 40% of the time, that's known as the Nyambi effect, and the 27% in the middle is also known as the Lewis Travis effect. We're going to go with that now these days. And as for the attacking zones, 42% of all of our possession seems to be in the middle, 30% further forward, and 29% at the back there. Moving forward, our shots, 6% of our shots within the 6-yard box, 55% within the 18-yard box, and 39% outside of the box. And the shots direction, 69% coming through the middle, 15% on the right hand side, and 16% down the left. As for the Rovers statistics, our top goal scorer last season was Adam Armstrong, 16 goals. Bradley Dack got himself 9. Of course, he was out since Christmas, so that was a big detrimental loss to the team. Gallagher got himself 6. As for assists, our main man last season was Stuart Downing, pulling the strings. Of course, we don't know what's going on with him. As of recording, I don't know what's going on with him. He may or may have his future sorted out. I believe he should still be playing somewhere, whether it is in the Championship with Rovers or somewhere else. But anyway, he did get himself 8 assists last time. Armstrong got 6 and Bennett got 4. As for the discipline, Travis got himself 13 yellows, Lennon got himself 12 and Bennett got 8. As for the Reds, there was at least 3 red cards, Brereton, Dack and Buckley. John Buckley got himself a red card. What do we have here? So, of course, Rovers' next matches after this bad boy, taking on Wickham at home. Of course, Gareth Ainsworth there. Then it's Derby County away days. It's the Wayne Rooney FC. Of course, they spanked us last time around. Then we take on Cardiff back at Ewood on the 3rd of October. Then it's Nottingham Forest away days for us there. And taking, and again, that's back at home, sorry, 17th of October. And then we'll wrap up the 5-game stretch down at London, Vicarage Road against Watford on the 21st of October. Meanwhile, the last 5 games for Rovers didn't really end very well, did it? We got a couple of wins out of it, but we did lose to Luton Town on the final day. which kept them up. 3-2 win for them. 4-3 winners, though, over Reading at Ewood Park. That was tasty. We also lost to Millwall. That also pretty much put the end to our playoff push. 1-0 loss at the Den. We did draw with West Brom 1-1 at Ewood, and we also beat Cardiff over in Wales. Here we go, boys and girls, with the starting lineups. I've gone with Bournemouth here, and this is just a rabbit out of the hat. I don't really know too much detail of what's going to be happening. Of course, they sold Ramsdale and Ramsey between sticks. They've still got Begovic on the books as of recording. He may have aspirations to play elsewhere, so he may or may not be number one. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So I've got him in there at the moment. Diego Rico got him at left back. Mepham, I believe he was injured, so I'm not too sure if he's going to be available. Well, I've thrown him in the deep end there. We have Cook, of course, captain's armband around his arm, and one of the Smith boys, the one that still remains. I think this is the Australian Smith. Is that the Australian Smith? Anyway, he's there at right back. Stanislas on the left, Lerma, Cook, and Brooks in the middle. Again, Brooks is hot topic at the moment. He might not be there. And Solanke and Surridge up front. That's your strikers. So it's a pretty handy couple of boys up top who will score goals, and I believe they probably will stick around with those two. Of course, they're going to lose Callum Wilson, probably going to lose Josh King as well. But yeah, that's the tidy lineup for Bournemouth. As for Rovers, I've gone for this lineup. Of course, we have a brand new squeaky clean goalkeeper. Of course, Kaminski's come in for Rovers. Bell at left back for the time being. That may change. Derek Williams possibly on his way out to the MLS. Come over here for a cup of tea, mate. Come over here for a cup of tea. Wharton, I've got him at centre back again. We could have a new centre back by the come kickoff come around, but Wharton did play against Doncaster. Lenihan centre back, and also Nyambi at right back for me. It is a bit of a guessing game, to be honest with you at this stage. Travis alongside Johnson and Holtby in the midfield. Holtby did pick up a niggle against Doncaster, but hopefully he'll be all right. He did score as well. Armstrong on the left, Brereton down the right. I've got Joe Rothwell in the middle with a three-man attack, even though he's more of a sort of midfielder. But Dak may go in there, but I don't think he's ready just yet. He's close, but he's not ready enough. Anyway, before we jump in the deep end now, I want to take a look at what digicast thinks will happen in the old Bournemouth Blackburn Rovers game. digicast, take it away. Let you know right now that you can actually catch the whole of digicast's championship predictions for matchday 1 and the rest of the season right on the channel. Just check out the video on the business there. Anyway, let's jump back into the old deep end and take a look at the remainder of the championship. This is, of course, the current table as it stands in mostly alphabetical order. It's a bit all over the place. But these are your 24 teams this year. Do we have the matches? We do have the matches. These are the matches for you. So Watford will open up the campaign on Friday night up against Middlesbrough. Birmingham take on Brentford, of course, the unluckiest team in the land. Wickham take on Rotherham, of course, both those two sides coming up through the League One last time around. And then we have Huddersfield Town taking on Norwich, the Kirklees, Barnsley against Luton and Co. Those two teams were tipped to go down last season, but they remain. Preston North End against Swansea, that'll be fruity. Millwall against Stoke, of course, the Gary Rowett derby. Cardiff City up against Sheffield Wednesday. Bristol City up against Coventry City. QPR against Forest. Derby against Reading. And, of course, the game of the weekend is right here with these bad boys. Bournemouth up against Rovers. Now, just before we go and wrap this puppy up, I want to let you know that, of course, the odds are in for the favourites out of these boys for the title, and it is Norwich. They are favourites. Brighton are also up there, both 6-1. Watford are your third favourites, 7-1. Bournemouth are up there in fourth favourites alongside Nottingham Forest, so they could be in the mix as well. Rovers, where are we? We are 25-1, smack dab in the middle of the table. If you want to know the odds for the Rovers game up against Bournemouth, as of recording, it's even Stevens for Bournemouth for the victory, 13-5 is your draw, and 5-2 is your away win. And that, my friends, is pretty much it. Before we go, I'll let you know of some unlikely chaps that have played for both Bournemouth and Blackburn Rovers of recent years. Anyway, Leon Best, we did mention him earlier, did score a goal against Bournemouth way back when. He's played for both of these bad boys. Jimmy Quinn, back in the 70s and beyond. Who else? Who else has played for these bad boys? Elliot Ward, of course. We all know him. Greatest tea maker in town. And Matt Holmes as well. Matt Holmes has played for these bad boys. Josh King, of course, who could be in action. Conor Mahoney as well. Goodness gracious me, I almost forgot about him. So those are just some of the familiar names that have played for both Bournemouth and Blackburn Rovers. This today, I'm sorry that this has been a little bit scatterbrained, but I've had to throw everything in the kitchen sink as the new season comes quick and fast. But hopefully I will have extensive coverage of this game. I might even do a live watch along on Twitch, so basically get stuck in the old description, check out my Twitch details there. I might actually be on Twitch and YouTube and even on something else. It might be a multi-stream. It's bold, it's adventurous. We'll see what happens. It might not be though, because it might be a bit too rapid. But anyway, I'm looking forward to the new season, and again, hopefully Rovers pick up some new signings as well. These boys are back in action. Of course, we have brought in Kaminsky at the moment. We've brought in some youngsters as well. This young winger from Preston North End, he's a bit exciting. He could be thrust into the deep end as well. I haven't put him in the team at the moment because I just don't think he'll be thrust in too early against the Bournemouth team. He might be on the bench to cause some problems. As for Bournemouth, I do expect them to make some transfer activities both in and out. They've got a lot of value in some of the players, and I do expect their money to kind of beef up a little bit. But yes, the coverage will continue, and it will just get better. And hopefully you like the new snazzy intro, and hopefully you like the channel so much so that you want to smash the old subscribe. And of course, check out the description, links to my other social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch as well. And of course, Patreon if you want to go that way and support the channel in another way. That's it, boys and girls. That is it. I'll see you all very, very soon. Until then, stay safe out there. But most importantly, come on, Rovers.